Inside of this video, I'm going to show you 3 simple steps that you can use to skyrocket your cash physical therapy practices paid ad performance on Facebook and Instagram. Despite there being more competition than ever before, there's never been a better time to advertise cash physical therapy, rehab, and wellness on the meta platforms, Facebook and Instagram. Just in the last 12 months, our clients on average added an additional $185,000 per year just from the Facebook ads that we helped them set up using the principles I'm about to share with you. And they did so at a 5.9x return on their ad spend, meaning for every dollar they invest into meta ads, they get $5.9 back in return. And this picture is proof of that. This is a picture taken from our most recent Clinical Marketer Live event in Scottsdale, Arizona, where hundreds of cash physical therapists flew in from around the country to learn what's working to grow and scale cash physical therapy businesses. This is a picture taken from just our clients who were able to come that generated more than $100,000 from their meta ads. This is a picture from those clients who generated more than $500,000 from their meta ads. And then we have other clients who've generated more than 7 figures since installing our meta ad system into their business. And so I know what we're talking about, and what I'm about to share with you absolutely works. So if you get value out of this video and you learn something that you are able to use to turn the corner in your business, I want you to hit the like button, the subscribe, and the alert button to gain access to more marketing and sales training for cash physical therapists. Now let's quickly compare meta ads to another really popular investment vehicle, just so you understand how powerful this actually is. The S&P 500 is considered one of the best and safest investment vehicles that anyone can use, and it averages a 6 to 8% return year over year. Yet our clients who are investing in meta ads are getting a 590% return at scale over the span of 12 months year over year. Now, isn't that a much better investment? Now, if you watch this video until the end, I'm going to reveal the new, simple, and automated way to acquire cash paying patients who show up, buy, refer, and buy again using meta ads. You might be asking yourself, who is this guy? My name is Drew Maller. I'm known as the marketing guy and have been for the last 5 years. And I've worked with the most profitable cash physical therapy brands in the world. And many of the multi-6 and 7-figure cash physical therapy businesses and coaches that you've heard of were at one point my client or have attended one of our 100+ person live events where we're teaching people how to safely and ethically scale their impact and their revenue without scaling their workload. I've personally spent hundreds of thousands of dollars running paid advertising myself and managed millions of dollars in paid advertising for other cash physical therapy businesses. And so what I'm about to share with you absolutely works, and I know what I'm talking about. Now, some of you might be wondering, well, why not Google ads? People are already looking for physical therapy on Google. Why don't I just start there? Well, I've spent thousands of dollars and countless hours investing into Google ads, and the return on the investment isn't even close compared to what we're able to generate through meta ads. And so I always recommend people start there. Now, after hiring more than 10 Google ads experts who are the best in their space and working within physical therapy, we've never been able to crack more than a 2x return on the ad spend inside of Google ads, making Facebook ads make way more sense to allocate the majority of our marketing budget to. Now, of course, there are some outlier scenarios where people did great, but across the board, after testing this in dozens of practices, most of the time, the average rate of return is only a 2x compared to meta ads 5 to 6x return. So it makes more sense to spend our money there. And this actually makes a lot of sense when you actually start to consider the stage of buyer awareness and what's going on in the patient's and the prospect's mind when they're actually doing searches on Google. Okay, the 5 stages of buyer awareness are so important when we're talking about marketing because it's going to determine what kind of marketing messages are going to work, how big is the audience that we're actually addressing. And so we have to consider this before we go into the tips for Facebook. Number 1 is people are completely unaware of their problem or of the solution. There's people who are problem aware. Maybe they have shoulder pain that's going on for a while, but they have no idea what the solution is. There's the people who have maybe already talked to an expert, and so now they're aware that physical therapy is a solution, and maybe they're product aware. Maybe they are aware of the insurance-based model, and they know what solutions are out there, and that's ultimately what it is that they're looking for. Now on Google, this is where most people are. They have a problem, they're aware of the solution, and they're aware of that insurance covers most physical therapy. And so when they're searching on Google, they're searching for an insurance-based clinic. And we found that the leads who come in already looking and convinced they want to use insurance are much, much harder to convince that cash pay is in their own best interest. And so the rate of return on these leads has been significantly lower to people when we compare that to meta ads. Okay, so this means that people on Google, when we're working with them, not only are they harder to convince, but we're also still working with a much smaller bucket of people, because the further we go down this ladder, the smaller this bucket becomes. And so when we're advertising on Meta, on the other hand, we're reaching people much earlier in the buying cycle. And so they're problem aware, but maybe not solution aware. So we get to advertise to a much larger bucket of people, as well as everyone else who might already be solution aware, might already be product aware, with the chance to shift their beliefs, gain their trust before actually having a conversation with them. And so we're able to contact so many more people and acquire way more leads at a lower cost. On average, within Meta ads, we're acquiring leads at $35 per lead. Now, if we have a $1,500 a month budget, the average cost of a plan of care, we're able to generate 40 plus leads with that. Now, if we compare that with what we're getting from Google ads, the rate of return and the number of leads we're able to generate are significantly higher. So let's take a look at the average cost per lead within our Facebook or within our Google ads. About 82 leads. It's about $177 per lead. And so we get way fewer at-bats with the opportunity to get them into an eval and to convert them into a plan of care. And so it makes way more sense to allocate this budget into Meta, where we're going to get way more leads and way more opportunities to sell people into cash packages. And so Meta across the board is the best place for cash physical therapists to start. Now, here's a breakdown of the Meta ads numbers. This is just taken from one of our clients' profitability trackers who's been with us for over a year. And now I'm not going to go through all of these numbers, but as you can see, they spent a total of $23,000 over the span of about 12 months and generated $130,000. Now, this isn't just a cherry-picked scenario. This is actually quite common in the average. They generated a 5.4x return on that ad spend for the year, giving them more cash flow to be able to reinvest into other areas of their business. Here's another example of clients who worked with us for over a year. AJ spent $26,000, generated $173,000 at a 6.6 return on ad spend. Luke, he generated $106,000 in 2023, spent only $20,000 at a 5.13 return on their ad spend. So this is happening all the time. The truth is that generating an additional $10,000 a month through Meta ads is extremely simple. So you might be asking yourself, well, why then, whenever I run paid ads, people don't answer the phone, they don't show up, and they don't convert? Well, the answer is pretty simple. It's because you're doing the exact same thing that everyone else is doing on Meta. So here are 3 very simple things you can do to skyrocket your ad success today. Now, tip number 1 is what we call experience-led sales. Now, Meta ads are actually so simple that my first tip has nothing to do with the ads themselves, but something that's far more profound, that's going to have a much bigger impact on your entire practice, not just your paid advertising. Now, the vast majority of cash physical therapy clinics and rehab professionals that we've worked with, they focus on sales-led sales, meaning every sale relies on the treating clinician to actually be able to convert a patient at the time of the evaluation. Meaning, if you can't get prospects to an evaluation and then convince them of your value in 60 minutes, there is no sale. Now, experience-led sales, on the other hand, is a growth strategy that prioritizes creating outstanding customer experiences and using those as the primary driver of growth. Okay, this means customers convince themselves of your distinct value because they can tell that you're night and day different than any other service that they have ever opted into, leading them to believe that the solution and the outcome you're able to give them is going to be better and different than what it is they've tried in the past. The result of this is higher lead connection rate, higher show-up rates, and sales that feel more like taking orders than actual sales. This is a picture taken from an interview I did with Dr. Matt Longfellow, who implemented this system in a matter of just 90 days. He went from hardly converting any packages to converting 80 to 90% of his evals into cash packages, and said that it's not even sales anymore. It feels just like a clinical conversation where I'm telling people what it is that they need. That is what having an experience-led sales process allows you to have. It gets prospects to convince themselves of your value and that they want to work with you before they even show up to the evaluation. And that all starts with the process and the systems you lay that stand behind the ads that you actually run. If you're not feeding leads into a system that provides a world-class experience, you're going to have a hard time convincing them of your value, especially when it feels, looks, and smells just like anything else that they may have already tried in the past. Now, the reason you're struggling to have success on Meta is that your experience is designed for referral patients, not absolute strangers. Up until this point, before running ads, every patient you've gotten was from word of mouth, was from a workshop or some sort of referral. These are people who are already much warmer and much deeper into the stages of awareness, and they're already convinced that they want to work with you. If you want to work on meta and start to reach colder populations of people who have no idea who you are, you need to build systems and experiences that can get a complete stranger to want to hand over cash and forego their insurance, because it's so obvious that what it is that you offer is premium and far superior than anything else that they could get elsewhere in town. This is what we call our objection prehab funnel. This is a tailored experience that we've invented inside of our own practice that starts to prehab objections before prospects even have a chance to bring them up. What I mean by this is that we have systems in place to answer questions, to overcome concerns, and to build trust before prospects even have a chance to say no. So by the time we actually make a pitch, before we recommend that they schedule an evaluation, before we ever get them into the evaluation, present a plan of care, our systems have already convinced them that they want to move forward, which makes sales so much more like order taking than actual sales. Now, if you want to learn more about the objection prehab funnel, you can go beneath this video and learn all about that and how it works and the ins and outs of it. Now, tip number 2 to optimize your paid ad performance is optimize for conversions. Okay, there are 2 primary types of campaigns that we run in cash physical therapy and cash rehab and wellness. Okay, there's lead form campaigns, which is what the vast majority of agencies run because they're very, very easy to set up and run. But the problem is they get really low quality leads. The second type of campaign that we run and we teach clinics to run, which is actually just as easy to run but gets far better leads, is a conversion style campaign. Now, conversion campaigns generate a much higher cost lead, resulting in fewer leads, but they're much higher quality leads because it leverages external landing pages versus in-app lead forms. So a lead form campaign is native to inside the Meta platforms. And so they never actually leave the apps. It's just a form that opens up on your phone or in the browser. Whereas conversion campaigns actually takes you outside of the platform to a landing page that you design to collect lead information and to educate them around your offers. And so yes, this increases the cost per lead, but it gives you far fewer leads to follow up with who are people who actually want to talk with you. And so Meta automatically optimizes your campaigns when using conversion campaigns based around the people who are opting into your landing pages. Meaning every single lead that opts into your landing page, Meta actually learns from that lead and shows your ads to more individuals who are just like those people in terms of buying behavior, their demographics, and the region that they actually live in. Meaning every single time we get a new opt-in to our conversion campaigns, the campaign gets more and more accurate at showing our ads to the right people. Now, when we run conversion style campaigns, we're driving them to landing pages. But the landing page's job isn't just to get leads. It's also to repel the people who aren't a good fit. It's just as important to defend our schedules in cash physical therapy as it is to get people in on the schedule. And so using landing pages like this, leading to a higher quality lead and more accurate automated optimizations with conversion style campaigns. Now, pro tip when doing this, Meta wants at least 1 conversion per day in order to be able to optimize effectively. So take your cost per lead into consideration when setting your budget. As I said, our target is $35 per lead. And so if we want to get at least 1 lead a day, I'd recommend spending minimum $35 a day. My best recommendation is spend $50 a day. If you have the system set up right, you're going to be getting patients in for evaluations, converting packages, so that offsets all of your ad spend. So I'd recommend starting out at $1,000 to $1,500 a month on your ads, just so Facebook can effectively optimize and get the right people contacting you. Now, tip number 3 is warm up and retarget. This is what the vast majority of people running Meta ads in the cash physical therapy business are getting entirely wrong or not doing at all. Okay, cash physical therapy is becoming a very competitive space, but to our prospects, it is still a very blue ocean. It is entirely new. Most people don't even know what it is or what makes it different. So running voucher ads to people who have no idea who you are, what your process looks like, how it's different from others, or its value, are obviously going to have objections, period. right? And so running voucher ads to strangers in an insurance-based clinic works because all they need are leads. They don't have to convince people of their value. And so all the cash physical therapists copying insurance-based clinics marketing, they're failing because it's a completely different customer at a completely different stage in the buyer journey. Now, in cash physical therapy, copying what in-network clinics are doing and just running voucher ads is wildly inefficient because it leads to more leads actually ghosting you than it leads to package conversions, because leads just simply don't trust you or understand your value. So to run successful meta ads, we have to warm up our audiences first before we start presenting an offer to them. So how we do this is, again, being aware of the 5 stages of awareness. How do we take people from unaware or problem aware to most aware? So by the time they actually opt into our stuff, they're like, shut up and take my money, right? And so the way that we do this is we run top of funnel ads, meaning the very top of funnel, for people where they're just maybe problem aware, and we educate them on our unique situation. We show them case studies. We allow them to get to know our brand through engaging through our content. Then we retarget people who watch these videos with the actual vouchers that are enticing and irresistible to get the people who have already started to build a relationship with us to agree to a conversation with us. And so this is what's working right now to skyrocket the profitability of our advertising campaign by driving down the cost per lead by building a relationship with our audience first. And so we have to warm up the audiences. And so let's be completely honest, right? Your competition is everywhere, and they're just copying and pasting every single thing that they see you do, but they're offering it a little bit cheaper. Creating a content strategy to warm up our audience acts as a moat around our business, because it's much, much harder for our competition to copy, because there's only one of you, and you're going to have your own unique personality and your own unique traits that's going to stand out to your audience and attract more people like you. Your competition can't just copy that, right? They're going to have their own personality, their own targets, and they're going to attract people more like them. If you want to attract more people like you and build a moat around your business and have a more defensive marketing strategy, you have to be creating content at the top of your funnel that you can then use to nurture, warm up your audience to then retarget with your offer ads. So there are 4 main types of content that you should be producing to warm up your prospects. Number 1 are case studies, actually sharing real patient stories. You can obviously change out their names, but tell actual stories. Sit on a table and just tell stories. Or you can interview the patient if they're available and they're willing to do that. You can show them day in the life. We have a lot of clients who are doing challenges and social media challenges and just showing what it's like to work inside of that clinic with patients, showing maybe some of their quirky, goofy side, or some of the fact that maybe you're also a mother and you want to work with mothers. You can show how there's a really, really great culture of mothers supporting each other at your clinic. Whatever it is, show off what it's actually like to be inside your clinic. You all can also create process overview training videos and showing what makes your unique process different and specialized compared to the alternatives your prospects might be considering. Then, of course, lastly, the most common one, educational content. How can people learn about the problems they have, and what can they do to start treating their symptoms on their own? Of course, it's okay if people solve it on their own, because those people wouldn't have been great patients anyway. They probably would have been good with 1 to 2 visits. Allow people, give away the information, and then sell the implementation. Okay, there's going to be people who try to do it on their own, and then the people who realize it's like, this isn't going away, are going to be the perfect fit people to want to work with you, and you're going to be the first person they contact when they're using your information to help solve their problem. Now, when we're running these warm-up audience campaigns, even a modest $10 a day budget will put your content in front of thousands and thousands of your most ideal prospects. Now, putting budget behind our warm content allows 2 critical things to happen. Number 1 is it allows us to create what are called lookalike audiences. And so as people engage and watch our content, we're actually able to use Meta to create what are called lookalike audiences, which is basically make me a audience that I can target that have the same characteristics, demographics, and attributes as the people who have already watched this video. Because obviously people who have watched it, at least 30 seconds to 60 seconds of that video, are people who are really interested in that content. Let's create an audience of people who are probably interested in the exact same thing that we can then market and show our ads to as well. The second thing is retargeting audiences. Every single person who watches our piece of content from 15 seconds, 30 seconds, 60 seconds, we're able to retarget those individuals with new offers and new training, creating a seamless funnel to warm up our avatars and our prospects to get them really excited about wanting to work with us when we're finally able to present an offer to them. So the result of doing this is prospects chasing you down for a discovery call, asking better questions, and having far less sales resistance because they've already got to know you, they've already gotten value from you, and understand what makes you different. Now, following these 3 simple tips, you can easily get a 5x return on your ads within just 30 days of implementing this, so you can fill your schedule and end the feast or famine cycles that you might be experiencing if you're relying 100% on workshops and word of mouth to grow and scale your practice. Now, if you got value out of this video, don't forget to hit the like and the subscribe button to get more training and resources around cash physical therapy sales and marketing. And to learn more about how you can attract more patients and start waking up every single day with eager, ready to buy patients, watch the training below titled How to Generate 3 to 5 Cash Package Sales a Week Using an Objection Prehab Funnel.